What is up, Renaissance crew? I'm the original Renaissance man, Devon DaVinci, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. Now, so many people enjoyed my last Frankie Boyle Mock the Week video that I figured I'd go ahead and tackle another one. This is the second part in this series of videos that they have. I'm not sure if I called out the channel that edited these videos. This channel is called Helpful Edits. They have a ton of other comedians as well as a continuation of this series, so if you happen to want to check it out, be sure to go to their channel and subscribe to them and like their video and things like that. I'm trying to figure out about exactly where I'm going to go to next, because you guys know I watch as many comedians as I possibly can, and so many people recommended stuff that I'm probably going to start. If it gets recommended enough, I might just go ahead and just check it out. And there's one video in particular that so many people have recommended to me that it's almost criminal that I haven't checked it out now. So forgive me, everybody that's currently on the request list, because I will get back to requests. I promise you that. But I have a couple of videos that I want to check out simply through popular demand. So this right here is, of course, the Best of Frankie Boyle Mock the Week Series 2. And yes, I've corrected since then. It's Mock the Week, not Mock of the Week. So forgive me for that. But at the same time, shut the hell up, because I've heard it already. Now let's go and check this out.
What's the point of having a caring Tory? Isn't the point of being the leader of the Tory party is that you get to be an evil bastard? Come on, the poor, prepare your arse cheeks for a pounding. Isn't this just like sort of Darth Vader turning to the Emperor and going, "I'm not sure about the environmental consequences of the Death Star, Your Excellency." This is a forest moon we'll be mooning.
Ill-advised things for a Lib Dem leadership candidate to say.
Sorry I'm late. I had trouble finding a vein.
Damn.
We start with a game called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories relating to current events. For each category, I read out an answer, and the players have to guess what the question might be. The answer is tired, lost, and confused. What is the question?
Statistically, what are the worst words to use on your CV? We know we've got this thing now, extreme rendition, where basically they fly people out to torture them, and those flights stop in Scotland. I mean, this is horrendous. People have been denied basic human rights, orange jumpsuits. How are we supposed to tell these flights apart from EasyJet?
We have an airline that sounds similar to this, and it's called Southwest.
EasyJet probably would torture you. They'd just charge you for it as an extra. You want a sack on your head and pissed on, sir? That'll be €6. Is this really what we want to do with Islamic fundamentalist terrorists? Make sure they're all on planes? Isn't that a bit like when they used to lock the A-team into a shed full of old mechanical parts?
Here's a picture of the Liberal Democrat leadership candidates. So what does LDLC?
That's a great analogy.
Liberal Democrats love cock.
Damn.
Cliffhanger lines from a political soap opera.
The irony won't be lost on you here, President Schwarzenegger. I'm from the future, and I'm here to stop you from destroying the world.
The answer is...
That was a great ass American accent he just had. It's crazy. I can hear people from other countries do American accents, but I have trouble doing accents from other countries. I'm not sure why. It's like, have you ever had that country you've been trying to sound like, oh, I'm gonna sound like I'm Scottish, but then you end up dipping into like Italian or something like that? I gotta work on my impression skills.
The supermarket. What is the question?
Is it, I'm in America, where's a cheap and convenient place to buy a heavy-duty assault rifle?
Bad things to say at Prime Minister's question time.
Prime Minister, could you look interested while I bring up some boring shit about my constituency? We've got one, we've got two more poofs than you.
Unlikely things to hear at the Oscars.
As a gay cowboy, I think I know where I'll be putting this little fella.
So it is the Royals. Frankie.
Why have the royals sent both Prince William and Prince Harry to Sandhurst? What, is there some kind of advanced gayness that doesn't get covered at public school anymore? Do you not think life must be quite weird for Prince Harry? Getting really stoned and seeing your grand's face appearing on your money. I have a theory. A theory about Prince Philip, that he can only die once he's insulted every nation on earth. So you're the ambassador for Fiji. Finally, I can die, you spear-throwing pig humper.
Damn.
The answer is butter, mascara, and pumping equipment. The question is, what Danish exports are being boycotted in the Middle East after the publication of an offensive cartoon?
Well, the thing is, exports of these things will be down, but surely exports of Danish flags will be up about 1,000%. Swings and roundabouts, isn't
Danish
it?
flying industry. Unlikely things for a Winter Olympics commentator to say.
Points off the Danish team for exploding. The upturned bobsleigh providing a fitting coffin.
Damn.
What you don't want to hear in an NHS hospital.
Can you go for a shit so the surgeon can get his car keys back?
It's amazing how many times doctors actually leave stuff inside of patients and things. I was actually while listening to a podcast about this doctor. It was called Dr. Death, and it was about what was his name? I think it was like Chris. It was Chris something. I forgot. It'll come to me. I promise. It'll come to me like right after I get done with this. But go to like Spotify or anywhere and just type in Dr. Death. It's about an incompetent doctor that just didn't know how to say when it came to his own abilities to perform surgery and stuff. It's a very interesting podcast, so be sure to check that out. I promise you'll enjoy it. And I'm not sponsored.
Now, you're sure you had legs when you came in?
The next topic is commercials that never made it to air.
Dry skin, itchy, flaking scalp. You disgust me.
Let's have a first topic, please. It is the future. Frankie.
Worrying about the future is different if you're Scottish. So like English people are worried about the euro coming in because they're worried about what it'll mean for nationality and identity. And in Scotland, we're worried that they might close down Pound Stretcher. Will the new coins be heavy enough to throw at referees?
Damn.
You know, people worry about global warming, and in Scotland we think, about time. I don't know if you've been to Scotland, but you'll have noticed not a lot of Scottish people have wind chimes in their house. It'd be like having tinnitus. and the winter is a tremendously difficult time of year for Scottish men to get laid, because Scottish women wear so many clothes. It's difficult to get at them. You know how in the movies and that, a young man's sexual rite of passage is the first time he manages to get a woman's bra strap undone. In Scotland, it's the first time you get a button off in her duffel coat. Oh, just another 2 to go. I've got my hands on that fleece. It's layers up there. Having a gangbang in Scotland's like playing pass the parcel.
The answer is 30 yards. What is the question?
Is it how much of a start should the British Army give Iraqi kids?
Damn. Woo!
Is it how far is the average child away from a paedophile if they sit at the very back of the classroom?
I love Frankie, man.
It's the distance at which Dick
Damn.
Cheney considers someone to be prey.
What you don't want to hear a Prime Minister say.
Get me an 18-inch knife and a hand grenade. I'm sorting this Iraq shit out.
Unsettling things to hear from the cockpit.
Hey, if a prime minister actually says some stuff like that, that would be some ballin' shit. We need more prime ministers like this. We need more presidents like this.
Of a plane.
We're about to experience a little bit of turbulence and then a lot of falling. If you look out over the right wing, you'll see the burning remains of the left wing.
Damn.
What not to say on receiving a Winter Olympics medal.
The goal for women's curling. This will take pride of place in the office that I clean.
Improbable things for Osama bin Laden to say in his tapes.
I've just seen the funniest cartoon.
I'm guessing that was part of that Charlie Hebdo thing.
We interrupt tonight's showing of The Sixth Sense with some breaking news. Bruce Willis is a ghost. Tonight's
Spoilers,
episode
man.
of Songs of Praise contains strong language and scenes of a sexual nature.
The answer is 77 billion. What could the question be?
I think this is the number that Stephen Hawking can count up to before his battery runs out.
Woo!
It's all come too late for Roy Castle, hasn't it? Roy Castle's going to be spinning in his grave now, trying to beat the world record for spinning in his grave, currently held by O.J. Simpson's wife.
Damn. Frankie Boyle is savage as hell, and I love it. Oh man, yeah. You guys pointed to a couple of comedians that have that y'all say are like savage, and y'all have even said that this is Frankie Boyle like toned down because of the network show. And if you haven't seen it, I do have a video up called Frankie Boyle Annihilates the Audience. And he was pretty goddamn savage in that video. So be sure to check that out. And man, I have so many other videos that I plan on doing about Frankie Boyle. And I have some videos that I plan on doing about other European comedians that it's going to take me a minute, but I'm going to eventually get to them. I figured that it would probably be a good idea to just start tackling comedians from different parts of the world, just to try to expose more people to these comedians, because a lot of times people have a hard time identifying comedians outside of their country unless they're part of like this big mainstream attention or they're like trending right now. So obviously I've heard of Ricky Gervais, but there's a lot of comedians out there like in Europe and Australia and Asia and pretty much everywhere that I don't know anything about because they don't get the attention that they normally have. And we have YouTube. We have a ton of comedians that are currently on YouTube that can get exposed, just they just don't really get the attention. And I've had a lot of people send me messages and comments and stuff saying that they've never seen this comedian and they're like shocked because it's like, this is my type of comedy. I don't know why I haven't seen this person yet. So like I said, I'm going to try to expose as many comedians as possible to try to get as much attention to them as possible. So if you have a comedian that doesn't get a lot of attention, but they also have to be funny. You can't just post any random ass comedian and be like, oh yeah, check this guy out. He's from my country, and the person is standing up there singing or saying knock knock jokes or some shit. But make sure that the comedy they're bringing it. And like I said, if there's somebody that doesn't really get a lot of attention, someone you feel should be part of the mainstream of comedians that are currently out there, be sure to leave it in the comment. Make sure you put hashtag DaVincireacts on the comment so I will see it and I'll react to it. I'll throw it on my request list. Like I said, that's unless it gets enough attention. If I feel it's garnered enough attention from everybody watching these videos, then I'll go ahead and tackle them. Anyway, I got another comedian that I want to react to today, so I look forward to seeing you guys on that reaction as well. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I'm the original Renaissance man, Devon DaVinci. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video, and I'm gonna give you guys the deuces. So, deuces.